Hello, and welcome to a Charnel House unboxing, courtesy of Camelot Books. Kind of funny, you know, Charnel House is here in New York State. Camelot Books down in Florida. So the book traveled from New York to Florida, back up to New York. That's just the way it goes. But hey, I've been buying all of my Tim Powers titles, all my Charnel House titles. I say Charnel House titles as if I'm purchasing multiple Charnel House titles. Really only buying the Tim Powers ones from Tony and Kim down at Camelot Books. So I'm going to keep supporting them, even when it's a new title like this. So this, my friends, is My Brother's Keeper, which is the newest Tim Powers novel, published last year, 2023. It's a Secret Histories novel dealing with the Brontes. And, well, let's dive in. The numbered edition is limited to 200 copies. Lettered editions, presumably 26. I don't know if they do a full 52. I've never purchased a lettered edition from Charnel House, and likely never will. It's rare for me to even buy the numbered editions, apart from these Tim Powers ones. But I love Tim Powers. I haven't read this particular title yet, but very excited to. This is not going to match my other Tim Powers titles due to clerical error on my own part. No fault to Tony and Kim at all. This was entirely my fault. I dropped the ball on this one. Forgot to request a matching number. Forgot to order it all together. And then by the time I got around to it, that number was gone, which is totally fine. I mean, it is what it is. So here we go. This is printed and is bound in Corvone rock, which is very fascinating. It's got a nice little texture to it. Kind of feels rocky. With nice little inlaid label there indicating My Brother's Keeper. I think in the mock-ups it had a hawk on the label there, so it's a little different. A lot of these don't actually feature the name of the novel on the spine, which is A-OK. So we have nice, beautiful, full-color end papers. This is printed on 80-pound... Oh, there's the hawk. Printed on 80-pound Mohawk Superfine. So, very, very nice. So, as I mentioned, this is a Secret Histories. P.O. Box 666. I love it. Oh, Joe Stefko actually got a shout-out in the novel here. I don't know if... I don't own the trade edition. I don't know if he got the shout-out in the trade edition as well, or if this is just solely for the Charnel House edition. Joe Stefko is the guy behind Charnel House. It is a one-man operation as far as I can tell. And, well, he does an incredible job. Tim Powers was actually, In the Stress of Her Regard, was the very first novel published by Charnel House back in 89, I want to say. I once knew that fact. It might not be 89. It might be, like, very early 90s, like 92. That was published in denim. Very creative with his binding materials. A lot of titles, even if the title itself doesn't have a unique binding material, and there's a picture of the Brontes themselves, he will sometimes insert something that is unique to the titles. Specifically with the lettered editions, he likes to put things in the covers that shouldn't be in the covers. That you're like, that shouldn't be in a book cover. Like a full working Etch-a-Sketch. He had a full working Etch-a-Sketch in one of the covers. He did Regulators by Stephen King, or is it Desperation? I want to say it was the Regulators, because I think Desperation was Grant. And the lettered edition for that had bullets, like, jutting out of the cover. I mean, maybe it's different when you have the Regulators in front of you, and I for one, do not have the Regulators in front of me, nor will I ever, because that is way beyond my budget. From the images I've seen, I don't like it. I like the idea of it. for Keith Reed. Keith Reed is the guy from Procol Harum, isn't he? I'm pretty sure it is. I believe Keith Reed actually did a Whiter Shade of Pale, like broadside publication through Charnel House. So that's pretty cool. So here's details. It's typeset in letterpress text, but it's not actually printed letterpressed. Letterpress text is just the text that's used. This is printed offset. Very nice. The lettered copies are bound in black Morocco and Corvone paper. Interesting. The signature page is in the back here. Signed by Tim Powers, number 130 of 200. So 200 is a pretty low limitation. I believe there are other ones have all been usually 300. Sometimes it's less. I believe there was a Tim Powers novel that was like 126 copies. Like 152 with the lettered. 26 lettered, by the way. I mentioned that. So, yeah, 6 minutes in. I haven't even talked about the novel proper. Well, I haven't read it yet, but it's a secret history, which is something that Tim Powers does exceptionally well in his own unique way, where he takes actual bits of history and kind of twists it for his own fantastic and science fiction delving ways. So My Brother's Keeper deals with the Bronte siblings, the Bronte sisters and the Bronte brother. And, it deals with some ghosts. It deals with some werewolves. So you're thinking, well, there aren't werewolves in real life, and you're right. So fair warning, if you're going in and you're like, oh man, I want to read a book about the Brontes, this is probably not the book for you. You're probably looking for like some nonfiction book on the Brontes or something that, maybe a fiction book that's relatively, factual and, dedicated to their life. Tim Powers is a history buff. He's a history nerd, which is awesome. So when I say, that's not factual, that might not be true. There might be lots of factual details in his novels. He's really good at putting those in. But the general tone of the novel, the general themes of the novel are not going to be grounded here within the realm of the real world. Expect a little bit of science fiction, a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of horror thrown in. So that's what I mean when I say it's a secret histories novel. I'm definitely going to have to give this a read. I'm a little nervous reading this particular copy, but hey, you know what? I'm going to be very careful doing it because I don't own the trade edition. I mean, I suppose I could find the trade edition, but I already have this one, so why not? But I will do a book review on My Brother's Keeper once I do give it a read. Unfortunately, my TBR pile is disgustingly long, and it will never end because I keep buying books. But please consider subscribing if you want to see that eventual book review or just want to watch any of the other million unboxings I've done between here and there. I do at least one book review a week on Tuesdays. Unboxings whenever they come in. So there's plenty to keep you entertained. So thank you very much for watching. Please check out Tim Powers. Please check out Charnel House. And please check out Camelot Books. They sell all sorts of titles from all sorts of small presses. They have a lot of great deals on their site. Sometimes the books might be a little pricier than cover price, but that's just how it is. It's based on rarity of the title. But a lot of their new titles are right at cover price. So you can get some great titles for your buck. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you around next time.